today I will show you how to make a somewhat professional looking manga page in Ibispaint. It is super easy, and I think by far Ibispaint is the easiest app slash software to create a manga with. And it's free too, so that's super great. Oh, this is not a sponsored video by the way, but Ibispaint. Come on, what you waiting for? Let's talk canvas first. There's a manga manuscript option in Ibispaint. You can actually make a manga with a regular canvas as well. But for today, let's try the manga manuscript. There are many sizes to choose from. I like to use A4 because it's quite big. Now there's also DPI or dots per inch. It's a measurement for resolution. Ever seen your art get pixelated when you zoom in even just a little? That means your canvas is too small and the DPI is too low. I will use A4 size with 350 DPI, but you can also go for the 600 if you want to play it safe. However, bigger DPI means bigger file size, so your device might get laggy, so choose wisely. Next is frames or panels. Click on the frame divider and click anywhere on your screen and add frame. Now just adjust how big you want the frame to be. You can also adjust the frame thickness. Then click on the frame divider again. Channel your inner samurai. Channel your inner samurai and start slicing things. In the frame divider setting, you can adjust the thickness of your slices. Now you might be wondering about these thin purple rectangles. These are the bleed lines. So when a manga is published, they usually crop the page and your drawing shouldn't cross these lines. As far as I know, this area is still okay. But here, and especially here, is the no-no zone. Avoid drawing any important things right here. Up to here is okay, but don't put anything important here. Keep your drawings in the middle. But please correct me if I'm wrong. If any of you know more about this, let us know in the comments. Let's move on to sketching. Some artists like to add frames or panels beforehand, but I find it distracting, so I will add them later. I'm also using blue to sketch, so I look like a professional manga artist. I was planning to make a Genshin fan comic featuring Dottore, but I don't know how to make him funny. He's kind of a piece of shit. Wait, what? Someone made a fan art of Dottore in Columbina's dress? Is this real? Lumin is my live reaction to seeing this picture, but goddamn, look at those thighs. They're prettier than mine. Okay, turns out we can make him funny. I just lack imaginations. But anyway, I'm drawing two drinking buddies, Farka and Flint's. Full disclaimer, do not drink if you're underage and beer tastes like shit. Also, if you think driving after drinking is okay, you're a piece of trash. I'm sketching very roughly to save time, and we'll draw the clean sketch after this. This is more of like the storyboard. So here is Farka saying something, and then Flint drinks his beverage, and then he also says something. And whatever he said shocked Farka to the core. I don't have a script for this, by the way. I don't even know what they'll be saying. I'll just wing it later. Next is of course the clean sketch. If you're the type of artist who can immediately outline a rough sketch or a storyboard, you can skip this step. For this video, I will draw the characters more anime or stylized than usual because it's a manga page. By the way, I made a face sketching video for my channel members recently, so become a member if you're interested. Only $0.99. But as always, no pressure at all. I love you guys all the same. Mwah. Ignore that. Okay, now I'm thinking about having Farka and Flint in a bar in the flagship because they're drinking buddies. So for Farka, maybe I will make him look a little bit tipsy, like his eyes are all hazy and he got some blush on his cheeks. Okay, never mind, he looks like a pervert. Regular expression it is. I already divided the panels beforehand with the method I showed you earlier. We're sketching Flint's and other scenes after this, so it's easier prefer to have the panels made beforehand. I'm drawing Flint's drinking first before replying to Farka and not showing his face to add like a dramatic pause. Flint's always have a clever comeback, so I will draw him with a nonchalant expression and a little smirk, and of course a little foam mustache because he just choked the whole mug. And in the next scene, Farka is surprised or taken aback by Flint's reply, whatever it is. I legit have no idea what to write on the speech bubbles. Maybe you guys can help me out. Write down in the comments what you think Farka and Flint's conversation is about. But keep it PG-13, okay? We're family-friendly channel here. We're not family friendly, but you know, I try to keep it PG-13, so yeah. So off the top of my head, I was thinking something like, hey, Flint, you ever eat glass? And then Flint is like, I just had them this morning. Gasp! Yeah, something like that. I'm sure you guys can come up with something much better. Next is of course the line art process. Now the line art is based on your preferences. Some people like them neat and tidy, some people like sketchy and messy line art, some like them thin, some like them thick. Really, it's up to you. I myself like it a bit rough. The line art, I mean. Don't take it out of context. I want my line art to look tidy, but with rough edges here and there. And I found a perfect line art brush for me, which is the soft mapping pen bleed. It has a bit of a texture, and even if you set the stabilizer to 10, it doesn't turn into magnets like some of Procreate's brushes. I made Farka's face a bit semi-realistic because his panel is bigger than the rest and I wanna put more details on his face. I don't line art that often because it's such a tedious process. I mostly turn my brain off and listen to horror stories during the whole thing. It's kind of therapeutic actually. I'm feeling zen. Zen. However, I still pay attention to the line weight. Some line arts look boring because they lack a variety of line weights. Either it's all thin or it's all thick. I mean, if you like that type of line art, obviously go for it. Don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. But I've seen some beginners wondering why their sketches looks better than the line art. And the simplest answer is the lack of line weight variety. The sketch looks better because some areas are thick, some are thin, maybe some parts are filled with solid colors, so it has more depth. While in the line art process, they focus too much on the tidiness, so it looks monotone. That's why I prefer a rather rough looking line art because it looks so much more interesting to me. For Flint's beer mug, I'll be looking up some 3D models from Pixel Squid, which apparently just merged or acquired by Shutterstock. Well, no matter, I will type in beer mug medieval. And it will show some medieval beer mug designs to choose from. You can also look for photos, vectors, illustrations, AI generated. Ew, god, I hope none of these are AI generated. Anyway, click on one of them and you can rotate it until you get the angle you desire. You have to pay if you want to download it, but I mean, you can just screenshot it. Okay, let's go back to Ibispaint. Use multiple layers if there are overlapping parts in the drawing. For example, in the beer mug alone, the wood, the handle, and the metal band around the mug are overlapping. So draw them in separate layers for easier fixing. Don't try to be smug and draw separate lines like this. Maybe I can try to be careful and not draw the whole line. No. It doesn't look as tidy as you think it is. If it's overlapping, just draw it overlapping and erase the excess lines later. And use separate layers. I thought you don't like having too many layers. In semi-realistic paintings, I don't. But line art is a whole different story. I would rather have too many layers than suffer through erasing tiny bits of pixels. Now we're moving on to Flint's giving a clever comeback to whatever Farka just said and show him who's boss. Because the panel is quite small, I'm gonna simplify the drawing so Flint's looks more anime. That way I can also add a comedic effect to his facial expression. It also gives a contrast to Farka's semi-realistic face. By the way, this soft mapping pen is perfect to line art hair. You see the texture and additional thin lines on the hair strands. It looks so good. where have you been all my life? I don't think I can explain how I line art Genshin's super detailed outfit because I honestly don't know what the hell I'm doing. So let's move on to Chibi Farka, who looks genuinely concerned with whatever Flintz's reply was. I mean, he just told him he ate glass for breakfast, so... Hey, I just realized we have 3 different art styles in this manga page. Semi-realistic Farka, anime Flintz, and now Chibi Farka. For chibis, I usually outline them thicker for comedic effect. I also find it cuter to use thick outlines for chibis. I'm not very good at drawing chibi actually. Oftentimes they don't look cute, but I don't have to worry about that here. As long as Farka looks funny and concerned, I think we're golden. Next is screen tone. Screen tones are patterns that use foreshadows, effect, background, and outfit patterns in a manga. Usually, shoujo manga use a lot of screen tones, and it's really beautiful. In Ibispaint, the screen tone is located in the layer modes. So here we have blending mode and then we have screen tone. There are many patterns to choose from. I usually just use the smallest one, .L4, then just use any brush to apply the screen tone. Screen tones are black and white, so whatever color you choose, it will only capture the value or the brightness of it. I'm switching to flat watercolor opaque because I don't want the screen tone to be 100% solid. This is basically like cell shading because we only apply the hard shadows. But still, have a reference ready, especially when shading the hair. I just made a bunch of Hyundai logos with the screen tone. For large areas like Farka's jacket, I like to make a selection first, then use an airbrush to make a gradient. I don't like covering a big area with solid colors. I think it looks too harsh. Okay, now I want you guys to pay attention here to Flintz's antennae. I want to place his head on top of Farka's chest, but his hair screen tone would blend with Farka's outfit. So, we're going to look for a brush called hatching. Wait, maybe it's not hatching. Gauze. Yes, let's use a brush called gauze in white and erase some parts of Farka's screen tone. I still separated the line art and screen tone layers, so I will do the same on his line art as well as the panels. This adds more focus to Flint's. This is a little something I learned from a comic class I took when I was just a little art bebe. Storyboard making is not my strong suit, obviously. Manga artists usually have editors to help them with the storyboard, so the scenes are more compelling to the readers. Anyway, Flintz's hair is lighter at the bottom, so I'm using an airbrush to apply the screen tone. And in another layer, I'm using white to apply the highlights. His face looks so much like Layla here. Is he secretly her twin or something? This is just a personal preference, but I don't like using a solid, super dark screen tone even though the character has black hair or black outfits. Some artists usually just fill the hair or clothes with ink, but I prefer making a gradation so it's lighter at the bottom. For Chibi Farka, I wanted to make a surprised effect. And not just any normal surprised effect like when you do a little gasp like no. I want it to be a thundering surprise, like where his life cannot be the same after learning that Flint's has been eating glass his whole life for breakfast. I'm so bad at making effects though. I don't think this is gonna work. But thankfully, Ibispaint has a lot of manga effects. I don't know if you can access all of these if you're F2P though, but maybe there's a free manga resource somewhere out there in the vast world of internet. Oh, this one looks pretty good. Let me make some adjustments and oh yeah, this is perfect. It's kind of blurry though, so I will sharpen it with unsharp mask. There's a huge white burst here that you can fill with text or like an exclamation point, so that's pretty cool. Before we move on, let's add some hatchings and solid color to the line art. I should have done this before the screen tone, but no matter. I add hatchings to areas that usually have the darkest shadow, like below the chin, below the lips, below the fringe, as well as on the overlapping parts of the hair. If you're still struggling with line weight variations, you can try this instead and see the difference. This is before and after. Now for the background, I will obviously not draw it by myself. Like what What are you, nuts? But yes, I do need to learn drawing background, just not today. I tried looking for a bar background in the Ibispaint assets, but I don't think they have one. So I got this picture of the flagship from Google, and I will extract line drawing, which is basically just make it black and white. Click on the layer and click screen tones and click on whatever pattern you want, and now the background is fully screen toned. That's pretty cool, right? I will use a bit of gauze so flints doesn't blend with the bar, and all that's left is adding the speech bubbles. Ibispaint has a manga balloon folder which has a lot of manga effects inside it for some reason, and also speech bubbles. You can use the pre-made speech bubbles, but I will make my own using the outline brush. Excuse the shaky lines, I do not have the steadiest hand. No matter, I will fix it quickly using liquify and make another one for Flints. I think it's better to make his speech bubble black because he's saying something dark. Okay, there, I've added the text. Honestly, I got the eat glass thing from Schitt's Creek when David told Alexis to eat glass.
Eat glass.
I don't know, it's just so funny to me. Speaking of Schitt's Creek, Catherine O'Hara passed away recently, so rest in peace, Catherine, you will be missed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to write in the comments your own version of Farka and Flintz's conversation in the flagship. Okay, bye!